Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States, and it's visible.
Hey, what's up, folks? So Tucker Carlson absolutely torched Mike Pence.
We'll let somebody transfer some jets.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President. Have you? I know you're running for president. You are distressed that the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years.
Yeah.
At this presidential hopeful summit. We're going to watch the full clip and react to it. Today's short episode of Dream Rare Podcast starts now.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of the Dream Rare Podcast. So I saw this clip on Twitter of Mike Pence getting torched by Tucker Carlson on the Ukraine war and how bad American cities are doing. And Mike Pence's response is pretty crazy. So without further ado, let's just watch the clip together. Here it is.
We're saying maybe January, we'll let somebody transfer some jets.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President. Have you? I know you're running for president. You are distressed that the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States, and it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. Public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased, and yet your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks.
Right.
I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern. Tucker, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern. I'm running for president of the United States because I think this country's in a lot of trouble. I think Joe Biden has weakened America at home and abroad. And as President of the United States, we're going to restore law and order in our cities. We're going to secure our border. We're going to get this economy moving again. And we're going to make sure that we have men and women on our courts at every level that will stand for the right to life and defend all the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution. Anybody that says that we can't be the leader of the free world and solve our problems at home has a pretty small view of the greatest nation on earth. We can do both. And as President of the United States, we will secure our border, we will support our military, we will revive our economy and stand by our values, and we will also lead the world for freedom under my.
He said, it's not my concern. Tucker said people are overdosing, suicides, or whatever he said, that every city's getting worse, crime, filth. And Mike Pence sat there and said, it's not my concern. That's not, America's not my concern. Is this guy even a human? I mean, I'm not trying to dehumanize Mike Pence, but you get what I'm saying. Is he an NPC? Is he like a pre-recorded robot who just has 5 phrases? This is why journalism is important. And everyone always says, why don't you run for president? Oh, Tucker should run for president. The thing is, you get what I'm saying? People need to do this. They need to do questioning of somebody's got to be that person. So thank you, Tucker, for being there. We don't need everybody to jump into the presidential race. We need some people at media companies to actually do their job and not just softball politicians that they're friends with. So the fact that he said that it's not his concern, I mean, he never had a chance in this presidential race, but in my view, that really says a lot. What do you guys think? I'm going to read a few comments. I don't think he ever had a chance. I don't think he was ever popular. After the January 6th, a lot of people didn't like him. But even before that, I don't think he could hold a candle to DeSantis or Trump. This is from the Blaze TV Media Summit. I guess it's Asa Hutchinson, who I don't even care enough about to ever show a clip. I don't even know who that is, really, and I don't care to find out. Some governor, possibly. Nikki Haley, who sucks. I know a lot of people like her because she's on Fox a lot or whatever, but she's a total neocon. Warhawk. You have Vivek Ramaswamy, who a lot of people seem to like. I don't trust the guy at all, but his rhetoric is definitely, appealing. I get why people like him. I think DeSantis is speaking at some point. And then there's the Mike Pence clip. So I want to keep this pretty brief so it's shareable. Let people know that Mike Pence and politicians think American cities, American filth, American crime is not their concern. Crazy that he said that. Crazy that he didn't think about that, but I just want to harp on this point real quick before I leave. Somebody has to do journalism. Somebody has to ask these people questions. When you watch left-wing media, they softball left-wing politicians and ask stupid questions to right-wingers most of the time. When you watch right-wing media, people can hate me for saying this, but I just feel like it's true. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather. I'm a little stuffy, just a little cold. Maybe how many vaccines do I need to get for this cold? 1,000? Just kidding. But when it comes to right-wing politicians, people like Trump, etc., a lot of times people just softball them in interviews and they never ask them real questions. Pence, when he goes on Fox News most of the time or most of these media outlets, there's not very good questioning. There's not any passion. Like when you watch media, the reason people even like Trump in 2016 is because he had a pulse and he just talked like a normal person. People on television, they talk like this, and then politicians talk like that. What are you going to do about the economy? Well, I'm going to do this. So when Tucker comes into this with actual passion and says, listen, President, you're sending jets over to Ukraine. We've sent hundreds of billions of dollars over there. People are dying in our own cities. Every city in America is getting worse. We have a suicide crisis. You could feel the passion, whether you like Tucker or not. You could feel the passion. The guy has a pulse. He's not just reading a script. He's like, show me why that matters more than this. And because Tucker got off script and did real journalism and showed real passion like a real American, you see Mike Pence has probably never felt that before. In the last couple of months, you probably haven't seen him be challenged in that way. So he doesn't even really have an answer. He just defaults to like, well, that's not my concern. How is American cities not your concern? You're disqualified for president. You're proving once again that Trump has terrible taste in everybody he hires, and nothing's probably going to change. But it's like, oh, but Pence sucks. It's like, who put Pence there? Nobody even cared about Pence before Trump put him there. And then all of a sudden, now, he's a figure that people listen to. He's going to get less than 1 or 2% of the vote, I think. And long story short, I'm just going to end on this note. I wish Trump was there. I'm glad DeSantis is going to be there. I don't know exactly how the format's going, if it's today, tomorrow. I'm not, I'll try to tune in and get some clips, but I don't ever see these people get questioned authentically. DeSantis, I would like to see him get questioned. Trump, I would like to see him get questioned. And I think Tucker's one of the perfect people to do it. Maybe not the best, but he's definitely top tier, one of the best, if not up there, to ask these real questions, to pry into narratives. And, too much of politics is this Hegelian dialectic circus where the left fights the right fights the left. You pick a hero, you pick a villain. It's like WWE. He's the heel, he's the star. And then the left asks crazy questions. Like the left makes the right look good because they act so crazy and say that working out is like a far right conspiracy theory. And then when you get to the right, they question the left. But there's rarely anyone who asks right wingers that everybody loves good questions. Like most interviews that I see are just slobbering at their feet. Like, oh my God, you're amazing. Like nobody's asking Trump if he worked with Bill Gates in 2018 and gave him a White House position, which he probably did. I mean, it's all over the press, but nobody wants to ask that question, and of course, Trump doesn't show up to the summit. Mike Pence, he runs around starting wars or whatever, and he finally gets asked a question about his Ukrainian stance in a strong way. And his answer is, it's not my concern. American cities, American people, that's not my concern. I mean, embarrassing. Someone said hide in comments, question mark. No, Karen. Of course your name is Karen. I'm not trying to disrespect all the beautiful Karens of the world, but there's always a literal Karen in the comments. Karen's like on, oh my gosh, I'm being censored. Anomaly censoring me. Oh my gosh, are you hiding my comment? No, nobody cares. Your comment's there. I just read it. Get over yourself. You're not important enough for me to like run through and hide your comments. Oh my gosh, I'm so afraid of what Karen says. Guys, there's people watching on multiple platforms. I don't hide comments. If anything, I do a members only on YouTube. You're on Facebook, so you don't even feel that. So long story short, I like the clip. I'm glad that Tucker asked him that. I wish Trump was there. I haven't ever seen Trump get a real interview from somebody on the right that challenges him. It's either the left acting crazy or the right licking the dirt off his shoes. I think Candace gave a pretty good interview, but really pretty softball in my opinion, and Trump still got mad at that. So I just find it wild that Mike Pence is going to go embarrass himself. Nikki Haley's going to go probably get exposed. DeSantis, we'll see how he does. Vivek, we'll see how he does. I think they're better at handling this type of stuff. And, as a voter myself, I love to see stuff like this. And I do find that it's like a false paradigm where the left goes crazy, the right just sucks up, and it's like the left, right? You never have this moment of like, okay, we're going to challenge our own side. And when you challenge your own side and people like a candidate, they start crying and they're like, oh, you're so hateful. Oh, you're a hate speech. It's like, do you guys not know what journalism is? You're supposed to challenge presidential candidates, especially someone that's in office for 4 years. Maybe they did some good things. Maybe they did some bad things. Mike Pence, people liked him for a while. Now they don't. These are politicians. They're professional middlemen. A lot of times they say stuff and they do one thing behind closed doors, etc. They start wars, they print trillions of dollars, they do backdoor pharma deals. The last thing we need is idol worship on the right. I don't care if it's Pence, DeSantis, Trump, etc. I know one of those names is going to trigger people. Oh my gosh, everybody should be challenged except the guy I like. No, that's not how it works. I like Tucker Carlson because regardless of what people think, and I don't think he has like 100% batting average or anything to those critics of him. But, when it comes to the war with Iran, which Trump, DeSantis, I would guess Mike Pence and Nikki Haley are like slobbering. I'm sure they all want to badly start a war with Iran. Tucker even had the balls to question that. I remember during Trump's presidency, he disagreed with Trump on his Iran rhetoric, and everybody was crying. I remember on my page, this is the funniest thing about being pretty authentic like Tucker, is on my page, I posted I think it was like 2018 or 2019. I can't remember. It was Tucker going against the Trump administration on a call. And everybody in my comments was like, oh, Tucker's done. We're canceling him. He sucks. How dare him disagree with Trump? And then 3 years later, people have short-term memories. Everyone's like, Tucker's the best. He's amazing. We love him. And that just shows you that authenticity shines through. All the people that were crying about Tucker's, Iran takes in 2017, oh, he's done. How dare him question my president? These are the same people that are like, Tucker for president. He's the best. People have short-term memories. And what I noticed before I leave is I'm trying to do a better job of just ignoring. If I want to weigh in, I weigh in, obviously. But I want to ignore a lot of trends because I feel like, obviously, the left is completely far gone at this point. But the right is like a cat with a laser pointer where there's always a trend and people obsess over it. And if you question it, they freak out. But then 2 weeks later, they don't even remember what they liked 2 weeks ago. So it's not even worth arguing sometimes. I know sometimes people get mad at me, and I do want to do my job. I do want to analyze. I do want to do good journalistic videos for people that show the truth. But really, I don't feel like fighting in circles like over Trump, DeSantis, this and that. And I do find that that's a thing. Even with this Sound of Freedom documentary, I don't want to get too much into it, but there have been people raising interesting questions about it. Tim Ballard follows me on Instagram. I've offered him to come on the show. I haven't heard a response yet, but I think he might, since he doesn't follow that many people. He's followed me for years, so he must like my show, or at least be paying attention. I'm going to have him on because I feel like even if you question any aspect of that, like that it was funded by Carlos Slim or some of the stories, although obviously the movie is great, it seems like that they're not adding up. I'm not being hateful and I'm not questioning it. I think the movie seems like a great thing, but this is how the right is. It's like a cat with a laser pointer. You give them a trend, they obsess over it. You do journalism in any form around it, and they freak out and think you're hateful. And then in 2 months, they're not even going to remember what they were talking about 2 months ago that they were so mad at. So long story short, Tucker's been through this cycle on the right a bunch of times because anytime he questions the Republican Party or Trump, really, I think people used to freak out about it. But now that time is kind of told all and he's proven that he does great work, people like him again. So thank you, Tucker, for asking real questions to Mike Pence. We appreciate it. I hope that you dig into Vivek Ramaswamy. I hope that you dig into Ron DeSantis. I hope that Nikki Haley, you crush her too and expose her war agenda also. And hopefully one day, since he didn't want to show up to this one, hopefully Donald Trump can do an interview with Tucker and Tucker doesn't softball him like the last one and ask some real questions, because I personally like that. And I think that a lot of Republican politicians, whether they're liked or not, they get away with this like, oh, the left, like, nobody ever really like questions Ted Cruz because he's always like, oh, Beto. And you're like, yeah, I don't want to vote for Beto. I got to vote for Ted, and of course I would vote for Ted Cruz over Beto O'Rourke. But the point that I'm getting to is like a challenge shows what you're really made of. And so often these politicians are masters, like, look over there. Well, at least I'm not Biden. And it's like, yeah, you're not Joe Biden. That's great. But that's not, Mike Pence is not Joe Biden, but would I vote for Mike Pence over Joe Biden? I guess, but it's never going to happen because, he's not going to win. He's not even going to get 1%. But that's my take. I like a good challenge. I like a good journalistic interview. Thank you, Tucker. Let's see what happens, and hopefully more of this happens. If not, I'm working hard to get more interviews with people, because obviously on my platform, I do that. And I'm just going to give you guys a little disclaimer. No disrespect, no hate, but I've met people in person, congressmen, people that are in the mix, and they always say, "Oh, Anomaly, I'd love to come on the show." But then when I follow up, they don't want to come on the show. Maybe they have better things to do, but I think that they know I'm not a mean person. I'm not like a hateful interviewer. I'm super nice and cordial. But, I'm going to ask real questions. This isn't like a giant orgy where we're going to like obsess over each other. I run a news show. So if I like you, but you're trying to start a war that I disagree with or that I want to ask questions about, I'm going to ask questions. If Tim Ballard comes on the show, I'm going to compliment him, show love to his show. But I do want to see his response to the left-wing criticism, and I do want to see the response to the right-wing criticism. I want to see how he handles not just the critiques, but in some ways the valid concerns that people have, because I think that no matter who you are, if people are saying something, it's okay for you to address it. Why not? That'll show the truth if it's on your side. So we'll see who comes on the show and not. But it's not like an attention thing. Like I need them to come on or I'm so hateful. I just get so annoyed that I watch all these interviews and it's like they're so weak. As a consumer of content, I'm like, that's weak, and that's really why I got into news analysis anyway. I never wanted to do news. This is not like what I wanted to do with my life. It wasn't my dream by any means, but I just saw how pathetic the media was, especially liberal media. And also some of the conservative media I didn't like the energy. That's the whole reason I got into this. So I'm continuously inspired with your support to keep doing what I do. Every time I look out, I'm not a hater, but I'm like, nobody asks good questions. Nobody gives good interviews. So I'm ready to step up and try to do that if I can. Thank you, Tucker, for playing your part with some of these war hawks out there who, if they want to start a war, that's okay. I mean, I'm not going to say it's okay, but at least be able to explain yourself. And the fact that Mike Pence says it's not my business or whatever he said, I forget what he said. You could rewind the clip. Disgraceful. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Dream Rare Podcast. Thank you to everybody supporting and showing love. And thank you to Karen and a few other people crying in the comments. I appreciate y'all too. Have a good one, guys. I'll be back soon. Enjoy your weekend.
Hey, what's going on, my friends? Just a few ways to stay in touch and support if you'd like to. The first way is dreamrare.com. We have blue beanies, black beanies, pink hats, other colored hats, freedom versus tyranny shirts, Stay Blessed long sleeve, God is Great long sleeve, and lots of more cool items coming soon. Dreamrare.com. Check out the shop to support. Everything's made in the United States. Handpicked by me. Patreon.com/raretalk. For $5 a month, you can help support me, support the show. If you haven't noticed, unlike other channels, I don't work with very many sponsors, sometimes none at all. And part of the way I'm able to do that is with the dreamrare.com shop and patreon.com/raretalk. So thank you guys for keeping this show free, unimpeded, uninterrupted. I'm forever grateful. My free email list is stayintouchwithme.com. So check the links below in the description or just type in on any browser, stayintouchwithme.com, all one word. You'll find my email list, put it in there, and it's the least annoying email list you'll ever be on. I barely use it because I don't like getting emailed every day or every week. It's annoying. So I don't do it. Stayintouchwithme.com. It helps me take back some power away from big tech. Telegram, t.me/dreamrarechat or @dreamrarechat. Due to censorship, I post all my live stream and videos there. Sometimes I have some bonus content, and I try to give people a heads up when Facebook or YouTube won't. Dream Rare Chat at Telegram. My Instagram is @dreamrare. Thanks for everybody following there for shorter content. And dreamrarelinks.com, that's dreamrarelinks.com, has all my stuff. My podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, my music on Spotify and Apple, my Rumble page, my BitChute and Gab page. All my links are found at dreamrarelinks.com. Thanks for watching, folks. God bless you. You already know I'll be back with more content soon. Appreciate you.